Oh my God, I thank God every day that Twitter did not exist when I was growing up. All right, so, oh my gosh, I was having a conversation with someone I know that's overweight, right? And I'll tell you my thought processes behind this tweet. So I tweeted, fat people dating is just both parties telling their friends that the other would be cute if they lost weight. Because I was talking to a fat person the other day about their date, and they said that statement to me that, you know, the other person would be cute if they lost weight. And I'm like, they probably said the same thing about you. Yeah. So I said beta males have no idea they're fighting for their wives to market how good of a wife they are for husband number 2, but you are not ready for that conversations. Beta males will accept being used as marketing for a woman's online brand. They will not only accept it, but they will fight on behalf of women to make it socially acceptable. And married women will die on the hill of making private moments public in relationship because it gives women power and status. Now, I'd like to say this is not meant to be hateful, but my job is to predict and talk about the trends. And the trends is that marriage in the future, and it already is instead of a lifelong commitment, it is used to signal status in a group. And it's basically used for women to say to other women, look at how much my husband did for me. So that's marriage nowadays, unfortunately. And I just kind of was trolling these e-girls a little bit because they all post the rings, but never the husband. And I had to think about this. And I was like, do women ever miss an opportunity to signal status? And I'm like, if their husband looked good enough for them to get status from it, they would post him. But I don't think their husbands do. They're e-girls. Everything is about their brand. They know it. They just don't like having it pointed out. It's kind of like a dude with bad teeth. So I just kept asking the question, am I the bad guy for noticing that women want to be in relationships to build their brand? And I can't help but notice. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what. Those are always the worst relationships. Those always are. I'd also like to say publicly, I had no problem with any of the rings involved in this. This one was kind of funny. I'm just kind of going over my tweets for the day. So this Savannah chick, and I got nothing against these women personally. I'd like to say I don't know you, but I can see what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? So Savannah Stone, she says, I got engaged and married within the same week. The husband didn't go into debt for my ring. We didn't go into debt for a massive wedding. My wedding dress was $60 in overnight shipping. Didn't go into debt over a honeymoon. It's not about the material and the money spent, which is why so many women obsess over. It's a lifelong commitment under God. If you're attacking marriage and family for any reason, you're doing the devil's work. So I don't know if this is me attacking marriage, but I think I have the right to make observations based on what you put publicly available online. Okay. I didn't ask to see you bitches' engagement photos. Okay. I didn't ask for this, right? But you guys are saying, here is my personal life. Here it is. Look at my personal life. And then if I say, hey, this looks kind of performative, I become the villain? Really? Really? I don't know. So I just kind of noticed, and I have to think about what is the thought process behind this post. This is a virtue signal post because she's communicating, I am married, I had a cheap dress, I didn't go into debt, which is fine, right? I would argue those are all good things. However, you have to understand how I'm thinking. I'm like, the psychology behind wanting to do that, it kind of makes you like a a little narcissistic because it's like, look at me, look how awesome do you know what I mean? All right, so pictured wedding ring, not pictured husband. That's what and I just, this isn't a personal thing against her, but I see these pictures on the timeline all the time. And I always quote tweet it because it's pretty much always no husband and always the ring. Trey came in, he's called into the show. Her ring looks better than Sarah's. I did like the ring. I thought it was super cute. I got nothing against the ring. They're always tweeting my ex-boyfriend. I get it. I race mixed. It's like, all right. It's like, I get it. You guys you were not impressed with the ex, all right? We're not together anymore. It's been a few years. We can put the photos away. But anyway, so then everyone comes back at me, and beta males will even fight for this. They'll say, are you retarded? And they show me the picture she has of her husband in the bio. Now, again, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. However, I have to call this what it is. Conservative women will always use their husband, family, and relationship to build their brand. Thank you for proving my point. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm saying that's what it is. Now, they always resort to attacking me. They said, what brand is she building, you giraffe? I am pretty tall, so it's fine. She's showing men she's taken and showing a real marriage and real love. And, I just keep thinking, I'm like, is it a real marriage? Is it a real marriage if you're like live streaming your life and like, do you know what I mean? Because I think there's this housewife that lives near me, and I just always think of her when I think of the best wife ever. And if I tell her this all the time, I'm like, you're the best wife ever. And she always says, no, like, I'm so lucky they put up with, like, that's her mindset, right? Oh, no. She's the coolest lady ever. She's so cool. And I don't get that humility. Do you know what I mean? I don't get that, like, humble spirit when you're like, look at my ring, you can't get in. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, am I going crazy? Like, sometimes I'm like, am I being gaslit here? So they said, what brand is she building? I said, look how awesome I am for being, I should have said married. I think I did talk to text. Not saying it's good or bad. It is what it is. There's something about in this society. Like if I had a teacher, right? And every day the teacher was like, look at my ring, look at my ring, look at my ring. Before she started the class, I would think something's up. Like there's something wrong with this lady. Do you know what I mean? Like I would think something's kind of weird. But, like it's like when political commentators are talking about politics and they're like, look at my ring, and I'm not saying all of them do this, right? Or look at me, look how awesome I am. It makes me start to think that something's off. I don't know. Is that immoral? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is it immoral for me to like notice this? And then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, modern marriage is marketing for brand building. I think Rollo has an essay on this. But that's really what it is, because women do this on a smaller scale. It started when I was younger on Facebook. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. Oh my God, I thank God every day that Twitter did not exist when I was growing up. I'm not going to trash talk anyone here, but oh my God, holy shit. You know, because it's really not fun for the kids. Do you know what I mean? It's not really fun for the kids to have to pose for your mom's social media, right? It's just not fun, right? Yes, women use the ring and their husbands for status. It's not good or bad, but it's not what conservative women pretend to be. And this is their response. They say, you're sad, you're miserable. You're a mud shark. I get it, guys. I get it. You know, I'm an equal opportunity employer, but yes, you know, do you know what I mean? I don't know what my personal life has to do with this, you know, and I can even say this from experience because I did, you know, when I was younger, I did have a public relationship and that's probably, it was not good. I wish I didn't do that at all. I really wish I didn't. And now they tweet me pictures forever. They do. But usually when you're doing that sort of thing, and I can speak from experience, it's something you're insecure about, right? When you're constantly having to prove to the world that your relationship is awesome, it's usually not awesome. I get it. They're saying, you know, go get a husband. I get it. I understand. Look. I understand. I understand their point of view, right? Maybe I'm not the best messenger, right? Maybe there's some, you know, and I always try to point to the men that are better than me, right? There are many men better than me that know this stuff, and I'll always point to them and say, Kevin Samuels was amazing. Myron is awesome. Rollo, even though he's not the biggest fan of me, awesome. But just from my point of view, it's becoming very performative. All right, okay, now they'll say, it's normal for people to post and share life milestones. And a ring is a symbol of the next chapter. So that's the next thing, is the women will say, this is a normal thing. This is normal, Pearl. And to that I say, for women, the good people gender, not all. They don't do that. Like, when I think about my brothers, who they're dating is not really a part of their, like, most men don't have an online brand. What the fuck are you guys talking about? That's normal for women. And women normalize this to give them power because it serves as marketing for their next husband, and beta male simps will die on the hill of them doing this. And they don't understand what's going on. And it gives them social power because after they can say, ooh, I was abused. Okay, let's see what's next. So that was my tweets today. I streamed for like 4 hours talking about this on Twitter. Mama used to say, don't air your dirty laundry if you don't want advice on how to clean it. It same goes for anything you put out there. Yeah, I know. And that's why I can't really blame the people for tweeting at me, my ex from years ago, because it is embarrassing, but I did it to myself, and I got to live with that consequence, right? That is a consequence. But I would warn, speaking from experience, I would warn, because you got to think, what good are you going to do by putting your thing on the internet? You've now become material for my show, so I guess I'm not going to discourage you. Women should post less about their relationship and spend more time with the kids, drain their man's balls, and less energy on clout. Now, it's totally fine for them to do it because I get content for my show, so I don't really mind. But I think people are tired of performative conservatism. And it's really sad that the only traditional women that we're going to have in the future are women that build a brand and make content off of being traditional. And that the traditional women, like the one I live near, they're just never coming back. Or maybe it's not a bad thing, right? It just is what it is. I said I liked all the rings. I did not criticize the rings. I don't think that's important. All right. So again, this girl named Allie says, I would have gotten engaged with a ring pop if that's all he had. I can't imagine turning down your nose to the size of a ring. Okay. But this, again, it's still virtue signaling. It's saying, I am a good person because I would accept a small ring. On one hand, I got to respect Emily for she just comes out and is like, yeah, I'm a whore. I'm gold digging. As much as people criticize that out in the open, like roughness in a way or whatever, where she's like, yeah, I did drug. Yeah, whatever. It's more honest than what these ladies were doing. Because a lot of the guys that build their brand off of their wife, you don't really know what your wife was doing at 18. A lot of guys, their girlfriends had jobs where I'm like, I'm sure she's got something, right? It's not until you've seen a mother in person who does performative marriage till you can spot it. And we just had these where I grew. It's like the Facebook mothers. They moved to LinkedIn and now they're on Twitter. I said it doesn't count as traditional marriage if you're making money off of it and broadcasting private moments. Because I'll see these influencers pushing traditional marriage. And I'm like, but what you have, it's not... Like, if I'm live streaming... Are you guys better than OnlyFans models? If you're live streaming your private, lives at home? I mean, because the OnlyFans models, they're live streaming private, their sex lives, which okay, maybe it's worse. But it's the same concept. Do you see what I mean? It's the same, pattern of thinking as you're broadcasting private things for the world. Yeah, and that's kind of the trend. That's where it's going. Is private things are becoming public. The liberal women are going to make it OnlyFans. The conservative women are going to make it marriage, and it's just going to be a live stream off. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm really not. I think there's people that make it work. I think Mr. Beast and his girlfriend are kind of wholesome. I think it's kind of cute what they're doing, and he's owning it, right? But he's not pretending to be Mr. Trad. It's impossible for conservative women to not use their marriage for clout. I've just never seen it. I've never seen a woman get married and not use it to signal status to their followers, to their group chat or whatever. I've just never seen it. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it exists. I don't. New marriage is brand building marriage. Just more of the wedding ring. Yeah, it is just I'm just being gaslit this week. I'm really tired of being gaslit and just told about the ex-boyfriend. I get it. You guys don't like the whatever, but anyway. So, yeah. This is the future. Their Twitter accounts women's Twitter accounts give them followers and money. And guess what they use it for? Their kids, their ring, and private family moments. So, yeah, now marriage is not only a contract now, but it's a brand.